Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our second last panel of CIE. We have our lovely guest, Baby Baconator, here with us. You want to say hi? Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself, where people can find you.
Like a gaming streamer and content creator by like night, I guess. I also do a bunch of other roles related to content creation. So day jobs such as advertising, acting, production, social media management, and other roles in like freelancing and stuff. So I've been able to get those kind of opportunities through like my own endeavors of doing my own content. So I feel like I have a lot to share today. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't really been playing too many games as of late. But right now, I've been playing mostly just League of Legends. So any League players in the chat, um, those are my people.
Lovely. Okay. So just to get started, my name is Tina. Nice to meet you. We got to talk a little bit before this. But today is all about, your brand, what it means to be a creator, especially in gaming. But just how to, being a public figure in front of, the world, the gaming community, and your peers. So, kind of one of the first questions we're going to ease into is just to kind of break the ice. You talked about, people know you from League, but what is your current um, kind of game that you've been using to unwind? Like you get home from a long day, you're like, I just need to get on this game.
Well, it probably shouldn't be this answer, but right now I think it's gotta be League. Very stressful game, very toxic, but at the end of the day, it's like I just wanna play something I'm familiar with, and also it's just like I can't get too rusty, so you gotta whenever I have time, I try to play as much League as I can. I think that's what I've been dabbling into recently. I had a Don't Starve Together phase a couple weeks back and dabbled in some supermarket together, which is like I guess supermarket simulator kind of thing for like one night. But hopefully, if I have more time in the future, I would want to play more games.
Even if it's stressful at the end of the day, if it's your comfort game, then it works. So our first official question is how do you go about building, like, how did you personally go about building your personal brand in the gaming esports scene?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think one thing about building like a personal brand as a content creator is just really hone in and kind of uh do what already goes well for you, if that makes sense, and branch off of that. So, for example, one thing that really helped me succeed in the league space was this one-off video that I made. It's called like my audio corrupted, so like I improvised, and it was basically just me doing kind of like DIY voiceover sound effect replications of the game. So I would like mute the game and then just kind of like make like the pew sounds and whatever. People found them very entertaining. So not only did I think have up to 43 parts of that for some reason. Like you just
Wow.
keep going at it and then people know you as like the corrupted audio girl. Like, oh, you're that one person who does this, right? But of course everything will always like come to an end and you have to like yeah, I can't be known as that for the rest of my life. So I started kind of building off other things as well. One thing was doing voice impressions. Apparently, I really sound like Annie from League of Legends, so I did a lot of like voice impressions. Like people were like, "Oh my god, like now you're the Annie voice impressionist," and I did a bunch of other ones too. So it's kind of like they were both similar in a sense where they had that overlap of audio related replications of the game and I kind of kept expanding from there like oh from like that then I started doing like a bit of cosplaying and branching off like one thing from another so that it doesn't seem like too big of a push and then each thing kind of gets added into your brand I suppose Like another example that I did is that like I recently started doing Pokemon card content, and
Ooh.
thing is that like it's really hard to just implement like Pokemon cards into League of Legends, right? People are accustomed to seeing like face cam on top, like League of Legends on the bottom. So all of a sudden, when it's like a real life video and it's just like my face and I'm opening packs, it's like something they might not care about. It's like I started opening packs while playing League of Legends. And then like those videos tend to do a lot more with kind of like converting like, oh, she also does like Pokemon content and I want to watch it because there is some sort of overlap, right? So I guess just kind of slowly expanding that personal brand and taking the time to really establish something that you wanna be known for very slowly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a really smart way of transitioning kind of your audience into like a different form of content. Like the first thing I thought of, and this is so unrelated, but it's like I have a cat, and we usually when your vet gives you like new cat food, you have to like put a little bit of the new cat food into the old cat food. So like as they eat more, they're like, oh, well, this is like now my food.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it's really random, but I thought
No,
about
it's
it,
a
I'm
good
like,
analogy,
that's really
yeah.
smart. You just did that, but with content. Yeah, that's good. Well, I'm hoping that the Pokemon card scene has been really popping for you because I know it's been everywhere on my page.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, so we were actually talking a little bit about this. I was just asking you how your week's been, but also after a long day of work, what game you like to like play afterwards to unwind. So can you walk us through what a typical week looks like for you?
Yeah, for sure. The thing is that I can never give a typical week, and I'll kind of just kind of go through why. Right now, I'm kind of working in four different like job positions, so my schedule is not very set in stone. But I can talk about some like typical tasks, and you'll kind of see why I can't like just make a schedule and stick to it. So my first job, and what I feel like is the reason why I do all these other jobs, is so I can like sustain this job is as like a content creator under like Baby Baconator, making my own content. So typically in a week, I might work on tasks like editing short form videos. Since I post every day, so that's like a lot of just like planning, editing, like filming, drafting and captions, whatever. Working on like emails or sponsor related things, or even like events like this. Where I just want to like be prepared and show up and share things related to my content. And then whenever I have time at nighttime, I also try to stream as much as I can. I currently run 11 social media channels as like my like creator brand, I guess. So
Yeah.
there's definitely lots to manage there. Like I'm trying to go through very like over I don't know, like the overshot of it. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean. Like I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
lot of other smaller things. My second job would be a user generated content creator. So if people who don't know what that is, it's like doing ads for companies, but it's not like a sponsorship. So they're not paying me to be like, hey, can you make this ad and post it on Baby Baconator? It's that like I'll make an ad, I'll give it to them, and then they post it on their social medias. And I kind of explain to people who don't really know what that is as like I'm just a random actress on TV, or in this case, not TV, but like social media, except rather than just acting, like I'm also the one who like scripts it, films it, edit it, and then stuff. But that's kind of what it is. So if you see me in a random ad, it's like not posted by me, like it's not affiliated with me. Like I'm not telling you to go like, download
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. So that might include like negotiating like deals and rates, scripting, editing, filming, reviewing things with like the client and like doing revisions as needed. Cause now we're meeting like somebody else's demand rather than like, do I think this is good enough? Yeah, this is good enough. My third job right now in content creation is making videos and graphics and doing social media management for a dim sum retailer. So
Ooh,
that also
nice.
this is like so like random. Like I'm just pulling things out of my pocket right now. But like,
Yeah.
that sometimes has to go with like going into like the store, filming things, and just like again talking with like the manager to see what they want, and then planning, editing, submitting things, drafting, and posting. And then my fourth job, which I'm not really like allowed to talk about like too much, so I'll just skim over it. But basically, I do some like acting and production for some YouTubers.
Oh.
But that is also just like planning, editing, filming, and like submitting stuff for approval. So the reason why I feel like it's hard to get a typical week is that three of those four jobs are all like I'm waiting for somebody else to like approve something, right? And there's like approvals at every stage. So it's like I could do something in 1 hour and then wait like 2 days to get an approval. And they're like, okay, it's good. Can you film it today? And I'm like, guess I'll move everything and film it
Yep.
today. Yeah. So everything kind of pops up during the week. But I guess like, being my own content creator, like I try to manage that as best as I can. But of course, like I'm trying to also just like be a good person to work with other people. So sometimes we have to just be flexible. And I think that's what's important about being like a content creator, both for yourself and for other people.
Yeah. I work in the entertainment industry, but as more of like production. So, like in the film industry and stuff. So it's really cool to hear your perspective of like what in my head I'd think, oh yeah, like an actor, they have their manager and then they have this and they have that, and you're all of that in one person. So that is actually really, really impressive,
Oh, thank you.
especially as someone who has experience in that industry and seeing like the very typical non-online, and seeing how much work you really have to put in, to kind of level that playing field for yourself. But also the fact that you you like, I guess in the entertainment industry, you know, we're very much in the nose of you're doing like seven different things at the same time. You know, you'll randomly get a one off here, and yeah, like I'm really impressed that you've got your like, you're consistent, especially for things. Like you said, you kind of focus on the bigger, because I know you definitely have a lot of small stuff in between all of that. But even just doing, social media for a dim sum place, like like you do what you got to do, and I respect the grind. That's really great.
Thank you.
But hey, I guess like that's it's a little exciting. Every week's a little different. You never know what you have coming up. So talking about a little bit of inconsistency, what are some important, like what how important is consistency in your visuals, tones, messaging when it comes to audience retention?
Yeah, so I feel like consistency in visuals, tones, and messaging is quite important. And I think it took me a long time to realize that when it really like shouldn't be. Like anybody knows, like, oh, if you have a brand, you want to make sure like, oh, they associate you with this thing, right? Um, because I think after a while, people kind of expect a certain type of content from you, and you really want them to consistently resonate with that. Like I touched a bit about this earlier, but people know me for, webcam on top, League of Legends on the bottom. So
Yeah,
they see something that's like, hey, that's not in that format, right? Then, they kind of like scroll or it doesn't like click in their brain, I guess, as much where they're like used to seeing a certain thing, and that actually led me to like opening like a different account just for Pokemon, because what ended up happening is that like if I post half League and half Pokemon, the people who join in new from Pokemon don't resonate with the League stuff, and the people who were here for League don't resonate with the Pokemon stuff, and
yeah,
then now we just have people like a 50% swipe rate pretty much, and that's not very good. So like I feel like it's better to have people like be there for what they came for rather than having your audience only resonate with, let's say, like 20% or 50% of what you actually post. And like another thing that I kind of struggled with, I guess, was like I do a lot of hee hee haha funny content. So whenever I want to do like a serious video on like short form platforms, then it feels like almost weird because I'm like, whoa, I don't talk about like serious stuff. So, I just kind of stick with doing, I guess, what people want to see, and then on my stream is where I can kind of pivot to other things, because I think the stream is where people tend to want to get to know you more as a person. So that's where I save all my variety and, you know, talk about whatever things on there.
yeah. I was gonna say, especially because you have so much content. Like even just from the beginning of our conversation alone, like I can already see the scope of how much work you do. I can see how a lot of maybe creators starting out might fear splitting up their content. They think, oh, the more I do, the better. But yeah, that's a really great point about how you're kind of dividing up your like audience pool by the amount of different content that you're making. The more inconsistent it is, someone comes to your channel for specifically, I don't know, let's say you do like a Minecraft video and it like blows up, but then none of the other stuff you have there is Minecraft related, you kind of lose that retention.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I don't want to like discourage people from trying kind of new things, but I think it's like once you found the thing that you want to do, like dibble dabble in everything until you find something that you're really passionate about and like does well for you and just really hone into it. And then once you want to start doing other stuff, you can do that kind of slow branching off that I talked about before rather than like consistently trying to do everything all at once because then nobody resonates, right?
Yeah.
Rather than like easing the people who already resonate into other things.
All right. So, talking about platforms and dividing up our audience attention, what are the platforms that you currently prioritize and why?
Yeah, right now I think I've been prioritizing a lot of Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. So I think Twitch is honestly like where it kind of all starts and where it like should end, I guess. It's the most fun because you get to talk live with people who enjoy your content and stuff and just play games, like have a good time. And there's no pressure to like, oh, I need to curate the perfect video with the perfect editing. Like it's very raw and real and so it's just you always just have the best time there, in my opinion. And I only started posting on other socials because I wanted to stream on Twitch. So like even if I could like get more money or more followers or like if it's a better time investment to be doing other platforms in the long run, it's like I want to do Twitch because it's the most enjoyable and it's always going to be a priority because that's where everything else kind of started. Instagram is probably my most active social and my biggest like not Twitch community kind of thing. I do think that like Instagram and TikTok are pretty similar, but I like Instagram more because you could do like stories, so kind of like smaller updates that people actually see. Like I don't think people actually like look at TikTok stories, but hey, maybe that's just me. Like I just don't think it's like a popular feature as much
Yeah.
as Instagram stories. And Instagram stories, like you can ask questions, like do polls, and like insert links and stuff like that. It's just way more interactive, I guess. And also you can post other things other than like videos. Whereas on TikTok, you kind of just have to do the the videos. So you can post like photos or like carousels. And I
Yeah.
think it's just way more flexible and you can interact with the community a lot more rather than only being able to like comment on like and reply to comments pretty much as your interaction. And the last one is YouTube. And honestly, I think it's just like you have to do YouTube if you want to be a creator full time and that's what like a lot of people say as well. It's the only platform that is really optimized for long form videos right now. Like we have so many short form video platforms, but YouTube is really just like the king of all of them in terms of long form. And like the great thing about it is that if you're able to get monetized on YouTube, then you will get paid as the creator for people just watching your content and it doesn't come out of like your viewers' pockets whereas Twitch subs or like donos do that, right? And that's what I really want to do. Like I would just want people to really just enjoy the content and then like we can both benefit from it because I mean, a part of just being like a full-time creator is that like you have to make money, right? Otherwise you're kind of just forced to get another job, but
Yeah.
like that's just where it should be. So I'm not monetized on YouTube yet and hopefully soon, but like that is hopefully an end goal. And because I'm Canadian, we don't have like the TikTok creativity program and stuff where you actually do get paid for views. So even though I've gotten over 50 million views on my short form videos, I've made a total of $0 off of them. But hey, if I get big on YouTube for the long form videos, then maybe that wouldn't be the case. So that's one of them that I'm hoping will pay off eventually. So I can just keep making content, people can enjoy them, and there's like less, I guess, financial pressure as well. So it's always a nice bonus.
Yeah, I think especially when you are a creator, again, like anything creative, a lot of it comes from passion. But if you're putting in this many hours, this much work, if you're not getting compensated for it, or are making enough to just keep yourself afloat, then you do have to start thinking, hey, maybe this isn't I should be putting in this many hours. But we are hoping, especially as Canadians, that the TikTok creator program, or in general, we see just more compensation towards Canadians as well, because we do put in a lot of hours. Like you see all the Canadians across all platforms, whether it be gaming or it can be in like Homestead or any kind of content. Just seeing their efforts actually compensated. Um, yeah, I also agree about Instagram. Like, I also have never seen anyone's TikTok story.
Yeah.
I see them, I don't click them. But Instagram stories, I'll be on there literally just stories for like hours, just watching everyone's story. So,
Yeah,
but,
exactly. I just feel like it's just, I guess more like user friendly, more integrated, I guess, into the app. Yeah, whereas like TikTok, you kind of really only use it for watching videos and that's it. Like even like I don't know anybody who unironically, I mean, I'm sorry if anybody does, but like I don't think anybody messages on TikTok besides sending like videos to each other, you know?
yeah.
So like that's just like another thing. Like whenever people have questions about like, oh, when are you gonna go like live next? Or like I don't know, they have a question about an event, then they can always just DM me on Instagram. But like I don't really get TikTok DMs. So
Yeah. Well, who knows now? You've set it out. Everyone's gonna start messaging you on
uh
TikTok.
yeah. And I will probably not reply because I don't check my TikTok DMs. So
You heard it there, guys. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to say, if you do have any questions um, for lovely baby baconator, you can feel free to put them in the Twitch chat. We are looking at them. We'll definitely put them in there. If I have maybe a question that's adjacent, I'll probably just substitute it for an audience question. But please feel free to drop some questions there that we can read near the end of the panel. All right. So, kind of moving on. Um, this is more of like an opinion question. So, like, what role do streamers and influencers play in legitimizing and expanding esports organizations or just esports in general?
I don't know. I had a trouble like thinking of what I should say here. Let me think. I think for my limited times in orgs, I found that streamers like did bring in a lot of traction to the organization, but these were like smaller to like mid-size. Like we're not talking about like, like FaZe Clan over here, you
Yeah.
know? Uh because usually it's like, oh, a streamer joins an org, and then the viewers of that streamer will go like also kind of like follow that org, or like if they're doing an event with on like their channel, then like those viewers will go in and watch that channel, and then they'll eventually become fans of the whole organization or the other people in the org because I guess they were able to just be discovered through the initial streamer. So I guess like that's what my experience has been like and what I've observed, but I also haven't been like too integrated into it. And I assume like when you mean esports organizations, like is it the ones that are both part like, tournament and like competitive play, but also have like a separate content creator like segment or like umbrella under the org?
I think I'd say both. Like, from my perspective, also looking at maybe just like esports events in general. You have watch parties where you invite streamers to come help kind of promote your event. You also have, when VC, I'm a Valorant girly. So when VCT rolls around, you have live watch parties where you invite contents or pros to come watch and stream while the game's happening in the background, and that brings a whole other audience into that maybe isn't too keen on like the competitive like competitive esports versus gaming content. So just looking at
Yeah.
like that attention.
Mhm. Yeah, I like exactly what you said. Um, I do find that like because I guess most streamers are like I guess personality based. I mean, some of them are known for really good gameplay, but the really good gameplay ones, like they're playing in the org. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And we're talking about specifically like streamers or like content creators that are mostly known for like I guess personality. It's like people want to watch it for them, and that brings them into I guess like a whole new world of this like organization that they might have not thought about kind of looking into before.
Yeah.
So I guess like yeah, it's just like I think it's a good exposure tool for organizations.
I will agree with you on that. Now this is in part almost like an audience question because we're both on the same wavelength here. Me and absolutely handsome. So audience question is: have you ever felt burnt out from content creating slash want to touch grass for a week slash month? And to that, I will just also add in, how have you managed burnout or content fatigue throughout your content creator journey?
Mhm. To answer the first question, have you ever felt burnt out from content creating? Most definitely, yes. I think all content creators will, or most at least, I won't speak for all, but have gone through some sort of burnout. Especially because I just graduated, but I was doing this like while in full time school or full. Thank you.
Wow.
Like while doing
Wow.
full time school, like university, at the University of Waterloo, and also like when I was doing like co ops and stuff like that. So I would like go home from work or school and then just like grind content. So there's definitely a lot of burnout because sometimes you just want to like go home and do nothing, right? Now that I'm doing content full time, I could definitely say like I've been a lot happier, like less burnt out because this is like my job for now. So I just gotta focus on like making content for myself and for like the clients that I work with. And like I don't get tired of like content fatigue overall. Like it's not like, damn, I really hate content today. Like I think I'll
Yeah.
always like making content, but there are sometimes I get burnt out from a particular task. So whenever that happens, I try to just do a different task. For example, like if I've been editing a lot, like I'm editing a YouTube video, like those always take a long time and it's just like really boring. I'll take a day off to do other content tasks, like come up with new ideas or like planning future videos, because those are like bright and exciting. They get the gears and like the motivation kind of going. And like if it's like the other way around where it's like, oh man, like I'm having creative block and I just want to like relax and do something chill and familiar rather than trying to like push the boundaries of my content with these new ideas, then I go do some editing because that's like a very mindless task that I've been like knowing how to do
Yeah.
for a while. So I think it's just about balancing the type of work that you do.
I think that's, yeah, pretty good advice. I mean, also just the fact that you just graduated. So how long have you been doing like content creation for, at least like to this capacity? Like I'd say you're pretty much doing it like how many hours would you normally be doing content while in university?
I would say like so what's the question? How many hours do I put into it in like a week?
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 6 to 10 hours of streaming, and then probably like I wanna say maybe like 15 hours of like editing stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess it also depends on the week. Like sometimes I'll take 2-week breaks from streaming and like I think my community hates me for this because they're like, oh my god, 2 streams in a week, hallelujah. Right. But like yeah, sometimes I'll take like 2-week breaks of streaming and then really like hone in on offline content. But if I had to give like an optimal kind of balance, then I think that would be what I would do while in school. But I think now is like a little bit different and especially because I'm just getting accustomed to some of like the other jobs that I'm doing. It's been like a bit wonky with the schedule. So I don't know if I would have I guess an estimation of that. But I mean it's my full-time thing now. So I wake up,
Yeah.
I work on content, but it's hard to say like, oh, right now I'm doing work. Like, okay, I'm playing video games right now, like live. Like, am I really working? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, that's still really impressive. Doing not only, you know, doing university, but also content, as much content as you're doing. I think obviously there's a lot of dialogue between, like how hard is content creation compared to a real job, and regardless of whether you're doing, obviously manual labor is going to be a really hard job on anyone's body, but I think content creation, just how many hours, not only you're spending sitting down in front of a screen, or having to kind of schedule out your week so like, oh, okay, I'm doing 6 to 10 hours of streaming this week or something. It's a really big mental like toll, and you have to like you gotta work this brain quite a bit to be able to have the capacity, motivation, and in general just like efficiency to get it all done. So that and school, that's girl boss. That's very
Oh my
girl
god.
boss.
Thank you.
So let's move some stuff more towards some advice. So what's a common branding mistake a lot of like aspiring creators tend to make that you see?
Yeah, I think that a lot of creators don't capitalize on opportunities that they're given. And I'm specifically like, I mean, obviously that can be like a lot of things, like maybe attending events or like networking with creators when they have the chance and stuff. But one that really stood out to me was capitalizing on viral videos. I made this mistake a lot while doing Val content. Like I did it for 3 years and I've been doing League for 1, but yet like my League videos I think will always be way like I guess more I don't want to say like more viral, but it worked out a lot better for me. Like I didn't really get a lot of traction in the Val space as much as like I would like to. Um and I would do a lot of, like, one-off videos. I do a lot of funny, like, clip moments for my streams, and that's what I did for Val, and that's what I did for League. But when a clip went viral in Valorant, it's like the next day I'm posting whatever else I had scheduled in, right? In League, the moment I went to work that day, I posted the first, like, corrupted audio video thing where I did, like, the DIY sound effects, and I think I had 2,000 followers on the time on Instagram, and it had 10K views in the first hour. I was at my job. I went home and made 2 or 3 more of those, and so the first video I think has like 6 million views just on Instagram, and I think like another million or something on TikTok, and then I just kept milking it, you know, and
Yeah,
then boom, that's my first brand brick right there,
yeah.
and then I was like, "Okay, this is gonna die, so what do I do next?" Voice impressions. So I started like planning out like voice impressions and videos to make surrounding that for my stream to clip to make into videos while my corrupted audio series was still going so that like I kind of weave one in and they're like, "Oh my god, she also does voice impressions, not just, pew pew and bang bang." Right? So that's kind of something I would say is just like when you have a viral video, like if you can try to make a part two, try to do something similar, even just talk about like how you felt like in that moment, if it's like a funny video or like you encountered a funny player or something, like, maybe try to add them and get them to do a part two. Or if you guys ever played again, it's like, oh, playing with the same person from the blah 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 video. It's like you just need to capitalize on things sometimes.
Keep the story going.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. I very much remember when that started, like the corrupted audio, like on Valorant. I remember seeing that for the first time and like sharing with all my friends and then being like, "Oh my god, like this is the funniest thing ever." Because like obviously that was something that would happen a lot. You'd be getting your like clip um software and like the audio would just be gone and you're like, "Oh, my thing's ruined." So I guess also the likability of the content, like the relatedness. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, that happens to me all the time," and then seeing like, "Oh my god, why didn't?" It's one of those things that people are like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" And I think that's also some of the best content to make because people, see that as something that they can do as well. Um, it just kind of closes the gap between seeing like, for example, like a Hollywood actress being like, "Oh, like I can't do that," but it makes it funnier because it's realistic. It's like, "Oh yeah, that happens." Um, did you ever have your kind of like aha moment, like, "Oh my god, I made it," or like, "Oh my god, like I'm doing it."
Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. Um, I wouldn't say there's like a point where I was like, like I'm there, I made it, because I'm always looking for, the next thing to improve my content and like keep going. Because I do want to make this like a full time kind of like career choice for me. And right now it's like not just there yet. But I remember during the summer when that corrupted audio thing was blowing up, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is everything that I dreamed for. So even though like yeah,
Yeah.
I get off work and like I'm tired or whatever, it's like I have to keep going. I need to edit my next video. I need to go
Yeah.
live. And like even just hitting like Twitch partner, like that was a big thing because for the longest time, it's not like, oh man, like I really want to be Twitch partner. Like it's a check mark. It doesn't do anything. Like I'm gonna be so for real. But it's a nice indication of like, oh, like you made it to a certain point that a lot of people would like to have, right? And I'm just like, okay, now I kind of really like this check mark. So I don't know. I think that was maybe one of the moments as well. But I'm always here to just like keep going, and there's a long way to go. Still think so.
I mean, there's always room to shoot higher,
Exactly.
for anyone, I think. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that's truly just there's nowhere else for them to go. I don't think so. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people. I think especially when you reach those checkpoints, you kind of almost get to look back at yourself and be like, whoa, like I like that might have not even been like a goal for you because you didn't even have it in mind. Like that wasn't even visible to you.
Mhm.
Now you've reached it, and now you're like, oh, now these are the things that I can do. Like these are the steps I can take further. So I think that really shows kind of your progression as a creator, but also as a creative. Seeing your work expand once you've reached certain points. Like, oh, now these are all the other things that I can do now. Like you're like unlimited. I'm just thinking unlimited, wicked, unlimited. Okay. So what is something about your work that people don't usually see or understand? We've talked a lot about kind of what your weeks look like, all that work that maybe people already don't see. But is there anything maybe that you're like, oh, I don't think my audience really tends to grasp that these are also things in my life?
Mhm. I think in general for like a lot of creators, people kind of think like, oh, like if you're a streamer or like a content creator, like you just, play games, you press a clip button, you edit, and then you post it, and then boom, it's you're good, 100K right there. But I think like every step has a lot of like different components built in. And to like another like kind of going back to last question where if there was like a oh I made it moment, it wasn't necessarily like I made it moment, but I was like, oh my god, like I've made so many intentional strategic decisions, like hundreds of them, to build up to where I was, that I'm just like, yeah, like I really did all that, you know? I was like, oh my god, like there's so many, I guess, just like steps and mini things. It's not just about mindlessly going live, finding a funny clip, editing it, and then posting it, and then hope it blows up. Like there's a very predictable way. And like I know when a video will go well, and that's just like learning and like researching and stuff like that. Also, yeah, just like strategic vision, like negotiating brand deals and stuff like that, like learning the best practices for every platform. So like the way that I like me posting shorts from my PC, but posting Instagram reels from my phone is like very intentional. Like, yeah, I could just schedule them all from like my PC or something, but there's like a reason why like I do all this. And I think that is like a lot of like small bits of work that people don't understand. And of course, like I think when you're really passionate about it, it's like it can never be like too much work or that like it's hard. You know what I mean? It's really not that hard, but I think in order to understand to the point where it becomes like a second nature and it becomes easy for you. You just have to do it a lot and learn throughout the years.
Yeah, I think what I was saying before about how, like, even just from what you've been saying, I've said you're a very driven person and a very committed person. Like it takes a lot of um like endurance to be able to keep it up. Cause yeah, maybe it might not be too hard to click a button and hit clip and hit another button and hit post or write a caption. But it is, you're doing it multiple times over the course of literally forever, like just constantly back to back to back to back. And that kind of repetition, some people are not built for it. You do it for a week and then you're like, oh, no more.
Yeah, like there are some like tedious parts, like oh, having to like scrub through a VOD or something, right? And again, not hard, just really annoying to do. And you get better at clipping things. Like yeah, you can press a button and press clip, but you get better at pressing the clip button. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. Like
Like your
yeah.
brain just knows when to do it. It's just like, oh yeah. Like it's not even
Yeah, yeah.
that
Or
good.
even like if I know an interesting scenario with some like randoms that I'm playing with is gonna start, it's like, okay, while I'm live, I'm already framing the entire video in my head and I'll say
Uh,
things like to narrate to the stream, but I'm actually doing it so that when I clip it, it's narrating the context for my video. So it's like there are a lot of like you're like pre-firing the video.
I was
Like
gonna say you're playing like fifth dimensional chess right now. You're thinking ahead, that far ahead.
yeah, it's like, oh, like this is gonna be a video, like, oh my god, guys, we have a random ADC over here. And it's like, yeah, we know it's a random ADC, but I'm just shh, just let me set up the video, bro.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. Now people will look out for when you're doing it. They're like, this is for the
Like
clip.
she
This is the
yeah,
clip.
no, I think people in my chat already know, bro.
um, I was gonna ask if you could tell yourself, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't know, whenever your first dreams of content creation came to be. If you could tell your past self like a sentence, like you could go back in time, say one sentence to her, what would you tell her?
Ah. I would probably say just to focus on learning those transferable skills because that is something that I think brought me a long way to where I am. Because there's a lot to do in content creation in terms of like skill creation, like again, like strategic planning, copywriting and scripting, planning, like filming. So even learning like different types of filming equipment, like professional cameras, like not just like your iPhone or whatever, right? But those also come in handy for everyday life. Even like acting and expressions, like and stuff like that. Like I feel like I've gotten better at acting, and not because I'm acting in front, like being a different person,
Yeah.
but it's just like your reactions have to be like a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
Editing is a really really big one that is gonna be useful for literally anything in life. Um, like even just drafting, which seems very simple, but I guess just like optimizing your tools on social media and just like learning algorithms is a big thing. Publishing, so knowing like, oh, when's the best time to post, like those kind of things. Managing and moderating, that kind of stuff. It's just good to have an understanding of everything. And the great part is that if you have a genuine passion for content creation and like, let's say doing your own content creation like doesn't work out or you just don't want to do it anymore, you can always just do other like jobs in content creation, which is what I do, right? But it's like I learned all of those skills as doing my own content, and that's how I've gotten like my full-time job for co-op. It's just literally my social media was my portfolio. And like that's it. And like two or actually all three of the other like jobs that I have right now outside of my own content, they weren't things that I had to apply for. Those were things that I was scouted for because they see my social media presence and they know I can do these jobs because I'm displaying them. So if you're able to like showcase your transferable skills, that also makes you employable. So if you want to edit for other creators or work in video production or on movies or commercials, then your social media is also your portfolio. So make sure you display those skills.
I think that's pretty great advice to your past self. I think she would take that and run with it. She'd be like, yes, clearly she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, it's
Um,
definitely taken a while to learn, but like that's what I like to like tell myself. Like I try to learn something new in every video, and sometimes like I'll try to do like break a boundary of what I normally tend to do. But I'm just like, okay, is this the best for the algorithm and for views? Probably not. But did I learn something? Like, yeah, yeah, I did. So it's okay. It's worth it, even if even if it flops.
you got something out of it.
Yeah.
We do have a audience question here. We have when making those strategic decisions that lead to success, do you know in the moment that they're the right decision, or is there like a guiding star, or like maybe like a gut instinct?
Mm. I think when you first start out, there's not always like a right decision. And what I've been told before as well, like just in life and anything, there's never going to be a perfect decision. Right. But I try to make the ones that are usually backed by like research. So whether like what other creators are saying or what I've tried and like tends to work well for me. So I know it's like you might as well try it. And for the ones where they like I wanna try something new, but I don't feel like they're the right decision, like, I just weigh, like, "Oh, is it worth my time kind of to balance this kinda thing, or is there a more effective way?" So, I guess at the stage that I'm in, I kind of know most of the right and wrong decisions, like, I know when a video is gonna do well, and I know when I'm just making a video because, like, "Oh, I don't have that much to post this week," so I'll try to do, like, something that might not fit necessarily in my brand, and might, like, expand my brand presence, but at least people will enjoy it while it's up, and then it'll die within 2 days, and then it'll never be talked about again, right?
Yeah.
Whereas there's the videos that I know, like, next week I'm gonna make these 2 videos, and I know they're gonna do well, and it's gonna be a new part of my branding, like, those are the
Yep.
right decisions, and then there's the other ones that are kind of like, "Eh, if it's worth my time, I'll do it."
No, that's I mean, yeah, I think especially doing it as long as you kind of just get those like that feeling about you're like, oh yeah, I know this is gonna do well. Like this is, you know, once you've had XYZ, you know, okay, there's a trend, there's a consistency. Um, you can kind of tell the results from there. Um,
Mhm.
so we're almost nearing the end of our wonderful, wonderful panel. So I'm gonna ask this my last question, and then we'll see if audience has any other questions for our lovely, lovely panelists today. So my last question for you is: what advice would you give to someone trying to enter the content creation space today?
Ooh, okay, I guess besides building up those transferable skills, and everybody is gonna say this, but if you're here for like fame or money, it is never gonna work out for you because you're gonna get really burnt out really fast. And also because I think people only see one side of it, which is like, whoa, viral video, but they don't see the 500 other videos that you put an hour editing into each and they got like 100 views. Like, So like it definitely sucks also like just being like oh reduced to numbers like you spent so long like thinking this is going to be again the right decision but maybe early on you don't know if it's the right decision and so you spend a lot of effort doing something else just to not see growth or anything like that and I guess the other thing is that like it's very glorified in the sense of financially, you only see the top, like 0.1%, which are bajillionaires, but the majority of creators don't really make that. Well, I don't want to like I'm not gonna touch about this too much, but you know what I mean. Like I think it's a lot more than people, I mean, a lot less than people expect because they only see like the Pokemanes and the
Mr.
Jason Louise of
Beast,
yeah,
the
exactly the Mr. Beast of the
yeah.
world, like that kind of thing. And I guess that's, like, just a really hard place to get to. So unless you have the genuine passion for it to really take the time to grow those platforms, you're gonna have a tough time, I think. Also, I think people are gonna be able to tell if you're just there for fame or money, and then that's just not good, so
Yeah, because that really can only push you for so long before you're like, oh, this is like a proper job. Like I have to, be thinking more than just, this. It has to be
Mhm.
driven by, your heart, your passion.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and I think this can be said about pretty much any creative industry, even if you're in esports, not even in content creation. If you are a player that's looking to get involved in esports, you're not getting into it for the money. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
if you so happen to get yourself like a T1 contract, then like yes, but like, there's gonna be a lots of ups and downs that you're getting into the space and you see yourself, you see those ups and downs, you're like, I am happy to go through that, or I'm willing to push myself through that, then maybe you are in the right spot and you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where the effort doesn't equate to the results, and that can be really demotivating. So unless you have like the passion to pick yourself back up and do it for the love of the game, like it just you just gotta.
Yeah. All
Mhm.
right. So with that being said, I think that's has concluded our lovely panel. We've hit the exact 55 minutes, which I'm actually really impressed about. Um, but with that being said, I think it's time to give a thank you to not only our panelists, but our lovely sponsors for the past week. This entire week, CIE is completely volunteer based. And so we have to thank our lovely sponsors for not only supporting us, supporting Canadian esports, but just Canadians in general. So first we have BMO. BMO is our main title sponsor for this entire week. Currently, they are running a contest for CIE participants. So if you type exclamation mark content or cost contest in our Twitch chat and complete the form to meet with a BMO representative, you can be entered to win one of 20 or one of five $20 Steam gift cards. So hey, if you've been looking to play a new game and you're like, hey, maybe I got to spend this money somewhere else, here's your excuse to finally play that game you've been looking to play. BMO has bank accounts and borrowing options for university and college students, so enter today. BMO Next Level is a Twitch/channel Discord server that's dedicated to helping you level up not only in game but also in your personal finances. You can join Sean Frame at BMO's Gaming Relations Specialist. He essentially plays through your favorite titles while also giving you financial advice. So it's like the perfect mix of like the Subway Surfer effect. So if you feel like you can't just sit and watch a video about finances and you need something else to go along with it, his content will definitely get you not only educated but entertained. So you can do exclamation mark BMO next level, which is BMONEXTLVL. Nice short in gamer terms. Um, also like to give a thank you to our sponsor, Strawberry and Egg, who they are a local business in Vancouver, BC, that specializes in making large video game and anime themed plushies. So they make smaller items like keychains, headphones, accessories, and flower bouquets. Everything is 100% handmade with quality as their top priority. You can find them on Instagram at Strawberry and Egg. And if you tell them that CIE sent you, you can get 15% off your order, which is pretty cool. I mean, if you're looking to get some gifts, or maybe, wear something to Anime North, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you can definitely consider getting something. And our last sponsor of today is Solaris. Solaris is an up and coming gaming organization focused on competitive Marvel rivals. So they're driven by a passion to compete at the highest level. While esports is at their core, Solaris is deeply rooted in the wider gaming IRL community. So they got variety content to real world events. Solaris strives to create a well rounded presence and connects fans and players alike. Solaris also aims to support local organizations to educate the non endemic gaming audience about value, influence, and impact of gaming. Solaris is also based in Vancouver, but they are aiming to help expand the collegiate scene to grow bigger. And with that being said, thank you again, Baby Baconator. Where can people find you? Uh, give us your handles, what platforms we can find you in, especially Instagram, from what we've learned.
Yes. So you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter/X, and Discord under Baby Baconator. That's with two Y's in baby. If you like Pokemon content, I have a separate Instagram that's called Baby Pokenator. And then I haven't been posting in a while because I've been busy with just kind of settling into my other jobs. But I also do lifestyle content under Sean Tells You. That's CHANTELLSU, like YOU, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. But honestly, if you find one of my link trees, it will have all of them. So don't worry about memorizing those.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for, coming out and joining me today to talk about your journey as a content creator and giving some advice to some fellow up and coming creators. But yeah, that is everything for today. You can wave bye to everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for having me.
And make sure everyone to check out our next panel coming up in about half an hour. All right. Peace.
Bye.